said Chicago and the nation, right?
Yes.
And I've been hearing this, to be very honest with you, from everyone. Huge supporters of President Barack Obama when I was here during the run-up to the election and on the election saying, why hasn't he said anything? He finally said something last week through the press secretary, Robert Gibbs. But there are people in this city saying he knows the South Side of Chicago. He was a community organizer here. His wife is from the South Side of Chicago. Why hasn't he said anything? Why isn't he here? We know that members of his cabinet are coming next week. What do you want to say about that?
Barack Obama is busy in Afghanistan, and he's busy with dealing with health care. So, you know, he has to have people in place that understand that. The problem here, I don't think, Don, that people don't care. I just think that people are afraid to admit when you're getting $100,000 or $200,000 a year for a specific problem and you don't know what to do, you're afraid to say, I don't know what to do.
What do you mean by that? What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is there's people in place in this city who are in charge of this problem who do not know what to do at all. This is not a time for on-the-job training. They are doing a disservice. Children are dying in Chicago. You see the faces of these parents and these children? This is an outrage. It's intolerable. At least it should be done.
You said people who are in charge of this problem. Are you talking about people?
Let me be specific. Last year, I went to the Board of Education. I was frustrated because I was going school to school with great results. Roberson High School, one of the worst schools here, Principal Moreau had me there where I spoke to 600 kids who listened to me at Inglewood. They've had me. But I went down to the Board of Education with my daughter, stood before Arnie Duncan and said, this is my beautiful daughter that goes to school as a college student. I don't want her to die. I will work in your schools for free. I'm the expert on this. 9-time felon, turned my life around. I understand these young people because I was that person. And they turned me down. Now I'm extending another olive branch to Arnie Duncan. Arnie Duncan admittedly on your show said, I am a failure at this. Now we're bringing him back.
Part. He said at that
yes,
one,
at this one part. And that is the...
You have to give someone credit for saying that they're wrong. And
I do give him credit, Don, but what I'm saying is this is a unique, specialized problem that Chicago educators did not go to school and do not have the training to deal with young children who are enraged and committing murder. They don't know what to do.
Mary, go ahead.
Can I just jump in here and say one thing? This problem is bigger than one person. That includes National Education Secretary Arnie Duncan. It's bigger than one person. And the first step, I think, that we really have to look at is the education system itself. We got to figure out why kids are so uneducated in this city, and not just this city, in urban areas and other urban areas, where they're coming out unable to read, unable to find a job, unable to qualify for a job, and full of rage and anger. Because if you can't read and you cannot write and you cannot support yourself, what else is there but rage and anger? We got to get these kids before they get to high school. We got to make education a priority. That's what we have to do.
Mary, we have to run. We have 5 seconds, Father. I mean, really, we're heavy here. What do you think that it's going to be accomplished with the administration coming in next? Finally, that's great that they're doing.
I think it's great that they're coming in, but what has to happen is a decision and a commitment to say we're going to call the experts together from all these different sources, put them together, and put a short-range and a long-range plan. Coming here is great. Now let's put the commitment to put together a plan to deal with it, not just in Chicago, across this country.
Very good. Let's hope that happens. And we have much more to come here. Thank you so much, guys. An emotional week here in Chicago. We'll have more on my interview with the mother of Darian Albert. I am joined tonight by two men who know about Chicago's mean streets. Asa Powell is a former gang member who's turned his life around, and Victor Woods spent time in prison but is now an author and a motivational speaker. Thank you both to both of you for joining us. You joined us early and gave us a very interesting, I guess, your analysis or perception of what's happening here in the city. She says she doesn't want it to happen to anyone else. Can we stop that? Is she going to be the last one, we hope?
Unfortunately, Don, we had 37 young people die last year. And this is not on-the-job training. This city is not prepared to stop this problem. I've been doing work at the Juvenile Detention Center downtown where there's 500 black boys and girls locked up that need help. And they told me this year that they don't have funding for me to go in there and work with these kids who are exactly like the boy that got out and killed that boy.
Okay.
We're not ready for this problem
and again,
yet.
allegedly, even though it's on videotape, but still allegedly killed because he has not
allegedly. But what we do know, Don, that 37 kids didn't allegedly die last year. They were killed and murdered.
And you heard this. Some of the people who were in Evelyn Holmes' story here from WLS said, you know, I don't care about the Olympics. I don't care about 2016. We didn't get it anyway. Our priorities in the wrong place.
We didn't deserve the Olympics. This city, you know, you had thousands of people downtown at Daley Plaza that were crying because we didn't get the Olympic Games. It's a game. That's why we call it the Olympic Games. These are dead children that died.
It's not a game.
If we had 1,000 cats that died in Chicago, or 37 cats that died in Chicago last year, there would be more outrage than the outrage we showed for the 37 dead black children. It is intolerable, at least it should be.
And Asa, you know firsthand about Fenger High School and about what these kids are going through. Tell us why you know that.
I went to Fenger High School. The location at Fenger High School is in the hundreds. It's called the Wild Hundreds. And it's kind of called that because there's so many different street gangs in such a close proximity of that area. And I believe that me and Vic were, you know, supposed to go in that school. And for whatever reason, and we were excited to go in that school, and because it was my school, and because he mentored me, and it was canceled about 3 months ago. And, you know, I've went in Harper and Robeson with Vic, and we've had great results in that school, and they're more violent than Fenger.
Well, you guys know what's going on in the school. Again, you were at the school. You're a member of a gang. You served time. And so you know exactly what's going on. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about that to gain some insight from you about what can possibly be done, a solution to this problem of youth violence here, and then you in all schools around the city
and
here.
Can I say something, Don?
Real quick, we're going to come back.
You're to be commended as a reporter and journalist for being on the forefront of this. It didn't take Fenger for this to happen. You were trying to address this problem months ago. And this is the type of responsible journalists we need.
Thank you very much.
Well,
I appreciate that. You don't have to say that.
But I mean that.
All right.
I mean that.
You.
We
I
need
appreciate
more of that
that
in Chicago.
I appreciate that. We are going to try to get to the bottom of this, and I really appreciate this. We're going to continue to talk about this story throughout this broadcast.